Alright, this is Travis Lynn's green conversion, and this is the testing of my Deluxe conversion kit for Stephen Wentworth. First, just quickly go over what I've got here. I've got two different coils of wire, extra wire provided for distance. This is labeled right here. This is a high current, which you would hook directly to your battery or somewhere where you got good current draw, because that's what's going to power your heater. And this loop here is also labeled low current. Is the low current for the control power, which does a little switching. So this is you'd want to run through your ignition switch, so that way you shut off your ignition, it kills everything no matter what. So I got both of them just hooked into my battery right now for testing. This is a three-way solenoid valve, diesel in, out to injection pump, and waste veggie oil in. It's all labeled. Next to this, it looks a little tangled up. I'm going to clean it up a little bit more. But there's a lot of wire, and obviously these are going to be installed in your dash. So what I've done is I put a lot of wire ties in that will be disconnected. You can also disconnect these for when you're wiring in your dash. And I labeled all the switches. This here is, you probably can't see it in the light here, but that's your fuel selector switch. I've also included a bypass switch. And this light here is what basically the system energized. And this is the light that turns on when you actually, the solenoid switches to waste veggie oil. And so these are the three different relays. They're all temperature. They're all labeled. This one is for the heater, which basically is a solenoid, or the relay, which controls the heater. This one is your ignition relay, which basically allows you to use the low current control power to control the higher current battery or the heater. And then this one's your over temp relay, which shuts the heater off when you reach over temperature. And this is the heater itself. The two temperature switches are attached to the end of the heater, and the fuel will be going in this end and then out this end, so that gives you a good reading. You may want to insulate that at a later date if you desire. Okay, so right now everything's plugged in. They're wired in. So I'm going to go ahead and say that we're going to be running this thing. I would turn the fuel selector switch on. You'll hear a click. So you got to click, and right now you see the waste veggies. When did I do? Oh, wait, I just turned on the bypass switch. So the bypass switch turns the waste veggie oil on, and you can't quite see it, but there's a little light in this solenoid, and you can see right now I can blow through the waste veggie oil, and it goes out to injection pump. So this is now bypassed, so that it's basically putting is basically running veggie oil even though it's not up at temperature. And the reason why I have bypass switch is for testing, purging. When you first do it, you can put the bypass on to purge the air out. So that's the bypass switch. Turn that off. Here, click. This light goes off. All right. So this fuel selector switch. This is the main switch. When you enter your vehicle, you turn this one on. And you see what happens right now is this waste veggie oil light is not on, but this one here, which is system energized, is on. Meaning the system is energized, and this heater is now starting to warm up. It's getting warm. And it's going to be a little bit different right now because I don't have fuel flow. But so right now, you're going to be driving down the road. You'd see that this light here is on, meaning the system's energized, but you're not actually running on a waste veggie yet because this light's not on. So what we're waiting for now, it's going to take a little longer because this is going to rely strictly on conduction. We're waiting for this switch here, which I got labeled low temp on. So at low temp on, this switch will engage, and then that light will come on and it'll switch to veggie. And just as a test right now, I know I use air a lot, but I'm just going to blow in the diesel side, and that goes straight to injection pump. If I blow in the waste veggie oil, it's dead end. So right now this would be defaulting to diesel. So let's wait. It's getting warm. It's quite hot right now. So it does take, I say, a little longer because we've got this long tube. And I like the long tube because I don't want it to be measuring the heat of the resistance, of the electrical heat. Like this is quite hot, so I want it to be far enough away where it's only measuring the heat of the oil. And you could even have a separate section of tube if you wanted to completely isolate it. But still, like I said, it's going to take a little bit longer because there's no fuel flow. But we'll wait. Like I said, this is really, this is for testing purposes. When you go to install in your dash, you will probably, put it all in there, you lay it out, and basically disconnect some of those wire ties to help wire it, to get everything wired in. And obviously this switch and these lights will all be mounted in the dash. So I can sort of tell based on temperature that it's still not there. So I'm going to quickly grab this. I can send a picture of this too, but this is the complete actual as-is wiring diagram. So it shows exactly how everything is wired. So that's definitely very critical to have, and I also do have the complete instruction kits and the schematics as well. Let me see here. Still a little cool. Like I said, it takes a little bit longer, and here is the schematic that I will be including as well, which then shows how to hook everything else up. And here's some of the other components, which I'm leaving separate for this, but the heat exchanger, filter, 2 different strainers. Oh, and this here is the key for looping the fuel return. Alright, so let's see here. System's energized, but we still won't have waste veggie oil on. Ooh, aha, that's very hot. Alright, start to warm up. It should switch pretty soon. Let's be quiet and wait. Here we go. Alright, so it's switched. So now we have this light's on, and you probably heard the click up here too. So it also engaged the solenoid, so now we're on waste veggie. So I can by blowing the waste veggie oil in, and it goes through by blowing the diesel. That had it. So now we're running on veggie. And the one other feature, which maybe, well, probably I won't be able to achieve the over temperature. I don't want it to, I could if I leave it on long enough, probably achieve the over temperature. But like I said, this is a high temperature shut-off, so this one's normally closed. It opens when it reaches temperature, or high temp. Ooh, that's killer hot right now, which is good. You want it to be very hot. Yeah, like I said, I don't want to get it that hot without the fuel flow. Yeah, maybe we will. Well, there's actually, let's feel it is getting fairly warm. There actually is not a light that tells you when the heater's on or off. It just basically controls on its own with the high temperature protection. So basically at this point, when it turns off, it'll just stop heating, which will take a little bit before we actually feel that. What I'm going to do, just for the hell of it, let's go ahead and let that thing overheat. Because it will overheat quicker now because we don't have fuel flow in there. So let me see here. How can I confirm that the thing is turned off? Alright, let's go ahead. I'm going to ground this on the vehicle. And this here, let's put it on DC volts. Alright, let's go ground right here. Alright, so there we got 12 volts. And let me look into the heater, follow the green, or follow the red line, and the heater goes into this one. So let's go ahead. Oh, it's already shut off, see? Let me just confirm, see, watch. This line here goes, oh, I think I was touching the wrong one. Yeah, it needs to be, that one should be cut. Alright, that's 12 volts. There we go. Alright, so right now I do have 12 volts, and the one I'm following is this line here. It goes to the heater. So I do have 12 volts going to the heater. So let's let this thing continue heating up until we get it shut off. And it's on the end of the tube. The tube's fairly warm, but not hot yet. I'm just getting out with my finger. So